Welcome to Swift Narratives, where each tale invites you on a journey through realms, both chillingly scary, deeply immersive, wonderfully weird, and enchantingly fantastical. Join us as we explore the endless possibilities of storytelling, where even the most eerie tales can help you drift into a peaceful slumber. Nestled at the edge of a dense forest in rural New England, lies a house that stands as a testament to solitude and peace. Its modern yet unassuming architecture blends seamlessly with the natural landscape, offering an ideal retreat for those seeking to escape the cacophony of urban life. This is where Alex Reed, a novelist with a penchant for solitude, decides to spend a few months away from the hustle and bustle of the city, hoping the quiet will coax the words that had lately eluded her. The house, with its sprawling layout, large windows, and minimalist design, provides an unobstructed view of the surrounding woods and the wildlife that calls it home. Alex is captivated by the tranquility, the way the morning light filters through the trees, and the serene nights under a blanket of stars. It's everything she had hoped for, a haven where creativity could flourish. However, the beauty and isolation of the house mask a lurking unease. Locals speak of the area with a mixture of reverence and caution, hinting at a history of break-ins and unsettling events in the vicinity, quickly dismissed by Alex as rural legends. Yet, as the days pass, a creeping realization dawns that not all is as peaceful as it seems. Unexplained noises disrupt the night, and shadows seem to flicker just beyond the edge of vision. The serene facade of the house begins to crack, revealing the fragile barrier between safety and the terror of invasion. As Alex settles in, the story unfolds, a narrative of human fear, resilience, and the haunting realization that sometimes the greatest horrors stem not from the supernatural, but from the depths of our reality. The first few weeks passed in a blur of productivity and a peaceful routine. Alex woke with the sun, her days filled with writing and exploring the natural beauty that surrounded her temporary home. Evenings were spent in the cozy living room, a fire crackling in the fireplace as she read or simply listened to the sounds of the forest. The locals, a tight-knit community wary of outsiders, gradually warmed up to Alex, sharing stories of the area's history over cups of coffee at the only diner in town. Among these tales, mentions of past incidents, a series of break-ins and strange occurrences in the surrounding homes, were casually dropped into conversation. Alex listened, intrigued but detached. Such things happened everywhere, she reasoned, and besides, the house felt safe, protected by its isolation. Yet, as the initial novelty of solitude wore off, an undercurrent of unease began to weave itself into Alex's days. It started subtly, a sense of being watched during her walks, the occasional unsettling feeling of returning to a slightly altered home, as if someone else had been there, moving a book or leaving a window ajar. Alex shook off these feelings, attributing them to an overactive imagination fueled by too many hours spent alone. But then, the signs became harder to ignore. One evening, Alex found footprints in the dew on the grass, leading from the woods to the back of the house, disappearing at the patio door. Another night, she awoke to the sound of whispering voices, so faint they could have been mistaken for the wind, if not for the distinct cadence of human speech. The local sheriff, when consulted, offered reassurances that were meant to be comforting. Probably just kids from town, daring each other to approach the mysterious new resident's house, he suggested with a chuckle. But we'll keep an extra eye out, just in case. His words provided little comfort. The sense of security that the house once offered began to crumble, leaving Alex feeling exposed and vulnerable. She found herself double-checking locks, closing curtains that used to frame her view of the forest, and jumping at the slightest sound. The turning point came one crisp, clear night when Alex saw a shadow move across the living room window. Not a reflection, not a trick of the light, but a distinct human silhouette. It was there, and then it wasn't, disappearing into the darkness from which it came. That night, Alex didn't sleep, and the house no longer felt like a haven, but a stage set for something far more sinister. The incidents escalated quickly after that. Alex discovered signs of tampering with the house, scratches around the keyhole of the front door, a window latch forced open but left untouched after what seemed to be a change of heart. Her phone line, cut one evening, was the final straw, transforming vague unease into clear, tangible fear. Determined not to be intimidated, Alex decided to confront the threat head-on. She installed motion sensor lights around the property and set up cameras, hoping to catch a glimpse of whoever, or whatever, was tormenting her. But the measures seemed only to provoke, as the attempts at intrusion grew bolder, culminating in a night when Alex awoke to the sound of breaking glass downstairs. Heart pounding, she grabbed the baseball bat kept by the bed and crept down the stairs, every step creaking ominously underfoot. The cold air from the broken kitchen window raised goosebumps on her skin, but the intruder was gone, vanished as quickly as they had entered. Now it was no longer a matter of if the invaders would return, but when. And Alex knew she had to be ready. The serene life she had envisioned in this rural retreat had morphed into a nightmarish reality, where each day was a test of courage and each night a battle against the encroaching darkness. The invasion, when it finally came, was unlike anything Alex could have anticipated. It was a storm of violence and fear that would test the very limits of her resolve and force her to confront the darkness not just in her home, but within herself. The night air was stifling, heavy with anticipation, as if the house itself was holding its breath. Alex had become a shadow within its walls, moving with caution, barely daring to make a sound. The previous encounters had left her on edge, a constant state of vigilance her new normal. Despite her preparations, nothing could have truly readied her for what was to come. It began with a crash, so loud and sudden that Alex jolted upright from where she had dozed off in the living room chair, her makeshift vigil post. The sound of shattering glass echoed through the house, followed by the unmistakable thud of boots on wood. They were inside. Adrenaline surged as Alex grasped the bat with trembling hands, her heart pounding a frantic rhythm against her ribs. The invaders moved with purpose, their footsteps and muffled voices weaving a tapestry of terror. Alex crept toward the kitchen, the entry point, only to stop short at the sight of 3 figures silhouetted against the moonlight, streaming through the broken window. Words failed her, fear rooting her to the spot as the intruders split up, beginning their sinister search. The house, Alex's sanctuary, had become a hunting ground. With a deep, steadying breath, she retreated into the shadows, moving silently to the upstairs hiding spot she had prepared, but hoped never to use. The next hours were a blur of terror. Alex listened as the intruders ransacked the house, their voices growing increasingly frustrated with each passing minute. It became clear they were searching for something, or someone. But why? Alex was a stranger here, with no enemies, no treasures hidden away. The realization that these intruders might have mistaken her for someone else, or worse, knew exactly who she was, sent a chill down her spine. As dawn approached, the situation within the house reached a fever pitch. Alex, heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination, prepared to confront the intruders. She had managed to evade detection, moving silently through the shadows of her once peaceful home, now transformed into a menacing labyrinth by the unwelcome presence of the invaders. The night had been a blur of terror, each moment stretching into an eternity as she waited for an opportunity to act. But nothing could have prepared her for the turn of events that would soon unfold. The intruders, emboldened by the cover of darkness and the silence that enveloped the house, continued their search with a reckless abandon. They were searching for something or someone, but their motives remained as shadowy as the figures that moved through the house. Alex, hidden in the shadows, felt a surge of fear and resolve. She knew she had to make a move soon, to reclaim the sanctuary that had been violated by their presence. However, fate intervened in an unexpected way. As the tension within the house reached its peak, the sound of sirens pierced the night, growing louder and more insistent with each passing second. The intruders, caught off guard by the sudden approach of law enforcement, scrambled in a panic, their plans unraveling in the face of unexpected opposition. Outside, a lucky policeman on patrol, drawn by the unusual commotion and the shattered window, had called for backup, instinctively understanding that the situation was far from ordinary. His timely intervention would prove to be the turning point in the harrowing ordeal. As police officers surrounded the house, their authoritative commands cutting through the night, the intruders realized their time was up. One by one they were apprehended, their brief reign of terror brought to an abrupt end by the swift action of the local law enforcement. Alex, emerging from her hiding place, was met with the sight of her assailants being led away in handcuffs, a wave of relief washing over her as she realized the nightmare was finally over. The intervention of the police officer, happening upon the scene by chance, had averted what could have been a tragic outcome. His actions not only ensured the safety of Alex, but also underscored the importance of vigilance and the role that luck can sometimes play in our lives. In the aftermath, as Alex sat amidst the chaos of her once serene home, she couldn't help but feel a profound sense of gratitude for the timely arrival of the police. The experience, though harrowing, had not ended in tragedy, thanks to the intervention of those sworn to protect and serve. As she made the decision to leave, seeking a new beginning away from the shadows that had encroached upon her sanctuary, Alex carried with her the memories of that night, a stark reminder of the fragility of safety and the unexpected ways in which deliverance can come. The ordeal had revealed a strength and resilience she hadn't known she possessed, qualities that would guide her through whatever challenges lay ahead. Driving away from the house, the events of the night still fresh in her mind, Alex understood that while she could leave the place behind, the impact of what had happened would remain with her, woven into the fabric of her being. The intervention of the lucky policeman had not only saved her from physical harm, but had also offered her a second chance, a chance to rebuild and find peace beyond the shadows of fear. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, like, and tell us what you thought of our story. Until our next adventure unfolds, stay safe.